Welcome back to the Unbounded Artistry podcast. Today, we got a couple of interesting topics to share with you. One of them is going to be our Valentines Day Market. It was a little bit interesting because only half of us could attend. And we also have a whole lineup of outdoor artisan markets that we're going to be participating in this year. So we're going to dig into that a little bit. And we're going to be adding some more variety to our streaming content. So, you know what that means.
Yeah. Intro. Okay. Oh.
What are you doing? Anyway, yep. So that's how it's going to be tonight. We're just going to roll the intro. Happy April Fool's Day. It's just the intro over and over.
Over and over. We've done that before.
We have. And it wasn't April 1st.
Nope.
So, yeah. That's like, good job.
We're pros. We're
pro
pros
podcasters over here.
Yeah.
At least we're not on mute that we know of.
No, I unmuted this time. I have unmuted it.
So the first topic we're going to cover is our Valentine's Day Market. So it's the first one of the year, and it was, I don't remember the exact date, but it was like, I think it was like the weekend before Valentine's Day.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. And so what that means is it's still winter here in Buffalo. And during the week leading up to that, our furnace started having issues.
I mean, it had been having issues for longer than that.
Yeah, but it started really having issues.
We were just ignoring it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then this is fine.
Then it reached the point where it's like, we need to have someone come out and fix this. And someone came out and looked at it, and we had a part changed out, and we thought we were good, but we were not. It didn't last. And we were without heat for, what was it, 3 or 4 days, I think, before we could actually get the new furnace installed.
I think it was longer than that.
Really?
Yeah. I remember when I called, they were like, oh, it's going to take 2 weeks. And we're like, no.
Yeah, but I thought they moved us up quite a bit.
I mean, kind of, but it took them like 3 days to just give us the appointment.
Oh, so, okay, we were without heat for...
It was about a week.
About a week then. So, needless to say, in Buffalo, without heat is not a good time. So, we were really worried about like our pipes freezing, because that would be a whole nother disaster that could easily cost thousands of dollars to fix, and we didn't want to have to deal with that on top of no furnace. So we ended up plugging in the 2 space heaters that we had, and we're like, this is not enough. So
we were freezing.
Yeah, so we went out and got a third one. Definitely not ideal to run 3 space heaters for a week, but we had to do it because we literally had no other choice. We did try to make sure that we kind of cycled them a little bit so they weren't on all the time. So like the power cord wouldn't combust or anything like that. But
we kept checking like the temperature of the cords to make sure they weren't like on fire or melting. And we had the water like slowly running in all of the faucets to make sure that the pipes didn't freeze. And we tried to keep the space heaters like pointed at the pipes. Yeah,
and we would actually like run the water like pretty frequently as well, and we'd leave like the doors open underneath the sinks as well. So luckily we didn't have any issues with the water, but it was just really bad timing because during all of that we had a market that we were supposed to attend.
It was a little bit of a disaster.
So that led to the decision of what were we going to do. So there's like a few options. One of them was going to be Rose could come out to the market, help me set up, and then head home. And we were really debating on that for a while because leaving the house for like an hour or whatever wouldn't be a huge deal, but she couldn't stay there the whole time, obviously, because the temperature in here would plummet like so fast.
Yeah.
So we were debating that for a while, but then we're like, it's going to take you probably like, I don't know, a couple hours. Just even if you just came out to help set up, it'd take you a couple hours round trip to get back.
Yeah.
And then we're like, is it really worth that? Plus,
we were kind of like, as we were cycling the space heaters, we were looking to see like where the temperature was, and it was dropping pretty quickly. So that was just something we were really worried about because we couldn't like not run them for an extended period of time because the temperature had dropped down to what, like 20 degrees, I think, at one point. Like it got really cold a couple of the nights. I thought I was going to die.
Like outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
not in inside, the house, but outside. Yeah. And it was like,
there was like
freezing in here.
The weather this past winter was just brutally cold for Buffalo.
Yeah. It was like, I think the coldest it got in here was like 50-ish.
Yeah.
But it was like unbearable. It was really, really cold. I was like, I can't survive. I can't function like this. It's too cold.
It was rough. So we ended up deciding that Rose would stay home and I would attend this market by myself.
Because I think the day of the market, we had somebody coming out to like check it too.
Yeah, but even before that, like we decided that it would probably make more sense just for me to just do it because you to drive 2 hours just to help set up for a few minutes just didn't really make sense.
Yeah. So
I had to do this one alone.
How did that go?
I mean, it was pretty difficult because normally it's both of us. So what we would normally do is I would drop stuff off and we kind of do it as like strategically. So Rose can start setting stuff up while I bring the rest of the supplies that we would carry and like all of our products in. She can actually start working on getting stuff up and running. But in this case, I had to load the car, drive to the event, unload the car. Then I had to move my car because I want it in a specific area. Then I had to walk back into the venue. Then I had to start setting everything up by myself. And
we have a lot of things. As it is. Yeah. And we're usually like right at time to set up by like together.
Yeah.
So for Brandon to have to do it by himself.
Yeah. Because they usually when you attend one of these markets, they have a time where you can arrive to set up. And then, you try to get there as early as you can because at least for us, we need all that time to set up. So I got there right as people were pulling in. Like they didn't have people in the building yet when I got there. So I couldn't get there any earlier. But it's also good to get there early because then you're not fighting people to use that entranceway. So I was able to back up the car directly to where I needed to unload. So that cut some time down. But it's definitely a lot of work to get set up. Even though we only had one table for this event,
we just have so many.
There's so many little things and pieces that we have to set up.
And our setup is a little elaborate.
Yeah, we're trying to make it simple, but we also want it to, stand out as well. So it's a kind of a balancing act that we have to do. But
I think because we've done so many of these at this point, we're getting a lot faster at setting it up.
Yeah.
But
even still,
it's still just an elaborate setup, even with one table.
For one person, it's a lot of work. I couldn't, if we had to do that outdoor with one person, there's no way.
I give props to the people that do it by themselves.
Yeah, I'm like, how?
How are you? How? But I mean, to be fair, I think they do have like simpler setups or they've done it so many times that they're like, some people are able to set up and break down so quickly. And I'm like, how did you do that? Like, 5 minutes after the show ends, they're walking out the door. And I'm like, what?
Well, it's because they started about a half hour before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Some people tend to break down a little.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. But that's another thing we can get into.
Yeah.
But, so I think I got done roughly when the doors opened. I might have been doing some like final touches here and there as people were starting to come in. But I was actually surprised I was able to get it done as quickly as I did. It does help because we practice setting it up here before we pack it all away, so we know how things are going to be, and we have photo references, so it's like,
we look at the pictures
like an instruction manual.
This goes here.
It's just like there. Building like a little kit. So
yeah.
It's good to have some plans to look back on. But I mean, overall, the market was okay. I mean, it was all right.
Was it worth it?
At the price point, probably, probably not. But I mean, they're always fun to do. You always meet some really cool people, and it's just for us. It's just like helping to get like our name out there too. So
yeah,
if we make any sales along the way, it's always a bonus. So
yeah, some of the markets we've done have not been super profitable.
No,
but it is still good to have people have their eyes on our stuff and start to get to know us and recognize us.
Yeah, and plus last year was our first year doing them, so we had no idea about anything. This year, I feel like we have a better gauge on things, and I think we're selecting things a little bit more strategically. So hopefully this year goes a little bit better, but if it doesn't, I mean, either way, they're just fun to do.
We had a rough start. We had a rough start this year, but thankfully furnace is now working. Oh, that was a whole nother disaster. Should I get into that?
We can get into that part in a minute.
Okay.
But, I don't know. Do you have anything else after that you're going to say?
No, not really. I mean, I think that'll go into the next topic, what I was going to talk about, but just being more selective of what we're doing.
Yeah. So, and then at the end of the show, I have to pack everything away.
Yeah.
Then I have to bring the car around. Then I have to load the car. Then I have to drive home. Then unload everything again. By the end of this event, I was so tired.
Brandon totally
because
out.
the thing too is usually before these we're scrambling, getting stuff ready that we don't get a lot of sleep like the night before. Even though we're like, we
always try to do things ahead, but for some reason
it just never happens.
No, it never happens.
And so it's like you're running on just a few hours of sleep, and by the end of that one, I don't even know how long I slept for. I was like out.
I felt really bad.
I was just out cold for like, I don't know, maybe 12 hours or something. I don't know.
I think that was still when we didn't have heat too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that didn't get fixed till like the following Monday or something.
You were tucked under many blankets.
Yeah.
In the space heater.
Chad's asking, do you ever take photos of your tables to show what it looks like? Yeah, we have a bunch on our website on the events tab.
Yeah, we made like a whole new page on our website after we started doing a bunch of these that show when the events are, where it's at, and then there's some pictures of like the products and like our setups from those. Yeah,
I think it helps too because when we're doing these events, we can send them to that page and they can see like what our setup looks like and what types of events we've been at. So it kind of gives you some, I don't know, some, what do you call it? Some
like social proof,
something like that.
Insight into like what we do and what we're about and stuff.
It just kind of validates like you're like a legit person.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scams out there in the vendor space. So
yeah, I think they call it like social proofing because then like they can see that you're actually actual business.
Yeah.
Chad said when we display at work, we always take pictures for our records and to review and help us spot things we could improve on. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy to look back on just like the last year of where our setup started and where it's like how it's evolved and continues to evolve.
Oh yeah. It'll always evolve. Like it's always going to change, but
I'm really happy with like, even from the very beginning, like we've taken a very unique approach to how we display our products, and we've gotten a lot of like compliments just on our setup. Like people are like, we can tell you like really like take pride in what you do, and like even your display is like art. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
I like it. It's a good mixture of like different natural materials and then their colors. It's good.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just a little bit of a rough start this year, but
yeah. So that was fun for the first market of the year. Luckily, it all went out and was fine. So, but it was a lot of work that day.
Yeah, I feel bad, but I was also at home freezing my butt off.
So
it was very cold.
Oh no!
I was working though. I was working on making new products as you were at the the market.
Yeah.
I was like taking pictures of the stuff I was working on. I'm like, I am helping from a distance.
Yeah, the whole thing with the furnace was a whole nother issue if you want to talk about that.
Oh, what a disaster that was. Like, I'm so thankful that we have heat, but we have a house that has a crawl space, which neither one of us is used to because our parents' houses had basements. A lot of houses in Buffalo have basements. And when we bought this house, I had no idea how different it is to have a house with a crawl space. So our furnace, since we've moved into this house, because it's on the first floor of the house, because there isn't a basement to put it in, has always been super, super, super loud. So we definitely noticed when there was something wrong with it, but we just kind of ignored it for a while because we're like, we can't afford this right now.
Yeah.
We're like, it'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
But when things did start going wrong and it stopped working completely, because like I was actually staying up late working on stuff and Brandon was in bed and I kept waking him up and I'm like, Brandon, I think it's kicking on, but nothing's happening. He's like, what? And then he like hit the little like the thermostat button thing. And he's like, no, it's running. And I'm like, I swear it wasn't running like the last couple of times. Cause I kept like hearing it, but I'm like, I don't think it's doing anything.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple period of days where it like stopped completely. And then if we let it rest and we tried to turn it on, it would. And we're like, okay, let's warm up the house. And then it would stop working again. And we probably pushed it as far as it could possibly go.
Yeah,
but
because at the end, it just didn't turn on.
It just didn't turn on at all. And we're like, yeah. So the furnace company was basically saying if we wanted to repair it, it was going to take them like weeks to get the parts to repair it.
Yeah.
And we're like, we can't go weeks. Like, it's already like freezing outside. There's no way we can go weeks and run space heaters this whole time.
No.
So we had to just bite the bullet and had to get a new furnace. And the guy that came out to like evaluate it and whatever said, like, gave us like a couple options. And he was like, you know, you can get like the economy one or whatever. But if you want to pay a little bit more, like we can get you one that's like quieter. Because I think it's like a what do they call it?
I think it's a two-stage
one. And we're like, man, if we got to bite the bullet and pay this money anyway, we might as well get one that isn't loud as hell.
Yeah.
Every time it kicks on, because it's like ridiculously loud. Like in the past, we would have to, when we would do the podcast, we would literally have to turn the heat off because it was so loud. So we're like, okay, well, we'll just pay the little bit extra and we'll get like the better furnace. So the guys come out, they're here for like hours.
They're here for like pretty much a whole day. It was like 6-7 hours.
And they kick on the heater and it is so incredibly loud. It was louder than the original heater that we had, which I didn't think was possible.
I didn't think so either.
And I was like, there's no way. Like, I was like, did we get scammed? And Brandon's like, you always get scammed.
It's true. It's true.
And I was like, he told me it was going to be quieter. He was like, it's not going to be like silent, but it will be way quieter. And we're sitting across, like, guys, like, left. We're sitting across from each other, like, on the couches, and we're literally yelling to hear each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I, like, stupid, or is it really loud? Like, is it way louder than it used to be?
Yeah.
And Brandon's like, no, it's definitely louder. And I'm like, how is this even possible?
We measured, like, the decibel level. I forget what it was at, but it was, like, really loud.
It was, like...
I think it was, like...
60?
I was gonna say 60 decibels.
Or something. It was extremely loud, and I'm like, what the hell? And I like went to like look at the little the receipt and stuff, and I'm like looking, and I noticed that the thermostat they gave us wasn't what I paid for first. And I was gonna call them and be like, hey, we don't have the right thermostat, because I was like, well, maybe we can at least like time it to like not kick on as much because it's so damn loud. And I go to call them and like tell them like what's going on. And then I'm like, well, let me go like look at the paperwork. So I go in to where the furnace is, because they like stuck the paperwork for the furnace in there. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this isn't the right furnace. And I tell Brandon, I'm like, they installed the wrong furnace. And he's like, what? And I'm like, no, like for real. They literally put the wrong furnace in. So I called the lady and I'm telling her. And then she's like, oh, like we changed out the thermostat because we don't carry that anymore. And I'm like, also the furnace is wrong. And then she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it's the wrong furnace. Like we paid for the more expensive furnace and they gave us like the cheapest one. And then she's like, hold on. She was a little snippy to me at first. Then she comes back on the line and she's like, oh my God, you're right. I'm so sorry. The like distributor gave them the wrong furnace, so they installed the wrong one. And I'm like, this literally could only happen to us.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? So she's like, I'm so sorry. We'll have them come back out tomorrow, and you're going to need to be home all day tomorrow to like swap out the furnace to the other furnace. And I'm like, okay. So they came back out.
The same people
to fully take out the furnace they just put in and spent all day putting in, and then put in the new furnace. You can't
make this up.
I called my mom like freaking out, and I was like, I can't believe this. And she's like, what?
It's insane.
Only us that this would happen to.
So yeah, it was the blower motor.
Yeah, because that happened to us a couple of years ago, and we were able to get it swapped out.
Yeah, we were able to actually just swap that out, and it worked. But we tried that again this year. And
well, we had repaired it like earlier in the year, and it seemed to be okay. And then it just started getting worse again. So it like lasted like 2 months or something, and then it like went again. And I'm like, I think we just need to replace the whole thing.
So that was a journey. And then to top it off, after they installed it again.
Oh, I forgot about that part.
After they installed it again, they're really nice. Like, I have nothing against the company that came out. They're like, the people were very helpful and very nice. But the person, I think the apprentice, was the one that was in charge of telling like whatever you call them, the master HVAC man, whatever.
The master HVAC man.
I don't know what you call them, but basically he was supposed to tell them what wires went to the AC unit. And apparently that got mixed up in communication, because after they left, the heat kicked on, and then I thought I heard something because I was like looking out the back window, and the AC was on too with the heat at the same time. Yeah, because Brandon was like hearing stuff, and he's kept going to the window. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I hear something. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, the air conditioning's on. I was like, are you kidding me right now? So I had to call him back again, and the guy had to turn around and come back out and just switch the wires. Yeah. And then I made Brandon turn the air conditioning on its own, because I'm like, I need to make sure that the air conditioner works by itself in the middle of winter. But I was like,
after all of this, you gotta at least make sure the stuff works correctly.
Yeah, but we'll definitely try it when it starts to get a little warmer, just to make sure if it needs to get repaired or anything to get it done.
Interesting
before we actually need it.
Yeah. On the upside, because of this weird fiasco, we really got to see the quality difference between the more expensive heater and the cheap heater.
Oh, yeah.
Because it definitely is way quieter.
Yeah, I mean, it's not silent, but it's like
I was like, this is so luxurious. It's so much like, it's still loud, but it's so much quieter than the original and way quieter than the second one they put in.
The second one sounds like a freaking jet engine. Like,
it was
we
awful.
literally had to yell at each other just to hear what we were saying. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, you really do get what you pay for when it comes to this stuff. So it was like kind of nice that happened.
But also not.
Also not. But like, it was kind of nice to see like to really physically know the difference between what you paid for and that it is actually worth the extra money. Yeah, that you made
the right choice.
I was like, wow, this was actually worth the extra money. And like, even though it was like a complete fiasco, I'm kind of like happy it happened because I don't know.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you know.
The more you know. It was pretty cool though. I was like, wow, that's...
The distributor made a mistake, right? I really do feel like they did, because I don't think they would have spent all that time installing something if they didn't know.
Yes, but also to a degree, like, that's kind of their responsibility. You're going to install a furnace and you're not going to check what you're putting in.
Honestly, it's probably never been an issue, though. Like, if you tell them, like, I'm picking this thing up, I mean, 99... out of 100, they're going to give you the right thing. At
least they came back out like right away, because if they didn't, I would have like been really upset. Yeah, but they were like, "Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow to fix it." So
yeah,
it was very interesting.
Very interesting. I mean, everything we do is always an adventure. Yeah, so
like we never have anything that goes like normal.
No,
never. Nothing's ever normal. So
never. Absolutely never.
There's that. That happened.
Well, it was quite a time.
It was quite the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm just glad to have heat.
Oh yeah,
it's really nice.
Also, not to rely on the space heater.
It was really funny because I was talking about like, because people were like laughing because I kept wearing my hat during streams and stuff, and they're like, "Rosemary's back," and I'm like, "No, but like literally," and like very shortly after that, it just completely stopped working. So,
yep.
Rosemary is why we always got issues with heat. We had the water heater thing,
yeah,
and then this. But we do always kind of just wait until it's like actually dead before we replace them.
I mean, that's because it's so expensive.
We don't have the money for it. So I'm like, okay, well, it's lukewarm water, so it's okay. Yeah. And then I'm like, no, it's cold.
Now it's freezing. Now this is unbearable.
It's still summer though, so it's fine. It wasn't until like it hit like fall and I'm like, yeah, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
That we actually got to replace it. Fun times.
Oh, yes. The most funnest.
The most fun.
Yeah.
But that's about that.
You want to do this?
No.
Oh.
This is your job.
Okay. So, if you're interested in sharing any thoughts or asking any questions during our podcast, you can redeem some channel point redemptions on Twitch for 15 koi coins. This is something that will highlight your message in chat, and we may respond to it or address it during the live stream. So, something free that you can obtain while you just hang out and watch the podcast.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a way to do that on YouTube, but
I don't know.
Maybe we'll figure that out one day.
One day.
We're still trying to just figure out in general how to stream on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube.
They don't make it very easy. But
we'll figure it out.
At least we're trying. Anyway, so our next topic is all of our outdoor markets that we're going to have for this season. We are doing our second year of doing artisan markets. So we have a pretty good lineup of shows so far. I'm pretty happy with them. We're going to be going back to one of our favorite shows at a local park that we really like. And that's going to be immediately followed by another art market. We got some farmers markets we're doing, some pop-up events through the summer. And we'll have all of that stuff listed on our events page on the website. So you can check that out, or you can sign up for our newsletter. And we'll let you know what we're up to. It'll be interesting how we're going to manage these back-to-back things that we have set up this year.
I don't know.
Because when we do these markets, the next day we're like dead to the world.
Yeah,
like,
especially during the summer ones.
It's so exhausting. The setup and the breakdown is just very, very tiring. So to have them back to back will be a challenge.
I don't know why we did this to ourselves.
It will be a challenge.
He's got a lot of points to burn. Chad's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we kind of get a taste of that in May as well.
What do you mean?
We have one on Thursday and then one on Saturday.
Oh, that's right.
And then the one I think this other set is in July, and those are Saturday, Sunday. So, oh boy.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. So I am looking forward to it because I think this year we learned a lot last year from doing the shows that we did. We learned what we like. We learned what we don't like. And I think what we realized is because the stuff that we offer is not similar to what other people offer at a lot of these shows that we did attend last year. Like we're shifted more towards art than crafts. So we're trying to find markets this year that are more geared to artists versus like crafts people. It's just like a different market. It's a different audience. So I'm excited about doing things that suit what we actually do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. We've even had like comments from people like that have just stopped by our table at other events, and they're like, oh, you guys are really like artsy. Like you should be doing these art shows, or you should be part of like these like artists, what do they call it? I don't know, like the little groups or whatever. I don't know what they call them. I can't think of the word right now. But yeah, so I think the ones that we're doing are more geared towards that type of an audience. So I'm hoping that we'll do a little bit better. Because some of the shows that we've done, we've basically said we're not going to ever do them again because they're like full of MLMs. Like there's people that are selling like manufactured stuff, and they're not even crafts. So I don't know why they're there in the first place.
Yeah, that's the thing is like some of the events, they'll just accept anyone that's like paying for a spot really. And we've learned to kind of pay closer attention to what the people are looking for and what they'll allow into the event.
What?
So I said we're paying closer attention to...
I think I just had like a lapse in consciousness.
Oh.
Sorry.
We're paying closer attention to what people will allow into their event.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And like there's nothing wrong with crafts, but like a lot of the craft-based shows are just allowing people that are like Tupperware and like Scentsy you see a lot of, and like the nail stuff I've seen a lot. I forget what that one's called.
Not only that, but just when we do like our rounds, sometimes like you just, I don't know, it just feels like everyone's racing to the bottom. Like it's like everyone has stuff for like starting at like $1 and stuff. Like I'm like, I get like having affordable things like in that range, but at the same time, it's like, how do you compete with that? Like,
yeah, it's just not the right audience or the right market for what we do. So like a lot of these, like there's nobody else that's offering photography. There's nobody else offering like paintings. There's nobody else doing like the handmade like jewelry stuff that we're doing. Like there's not even anything similar or within the same ballpark. There's like here and there, like there'll be some people that are doing more like art centric kind of things, but like overall it's just not, I don't know, not even like handmade things. Like a lot of people are doing like the what's that called, the printing stuff,
3D printing,
the 3D printing, and a lot of it is like so repeatable. Like they're like, even at the same show there's like 3 different stalls and they all have the same 3D printed things.
Yeah, and they all use like the same filaments and stuff.
Yeah, it's like basically the exact same thing. It's just
copy pasta.
And then there's a lot of those like crochet animals I've seen.
Those are really popular too.
And it's never just one person. There's
always a bunch of people.
I think the last show we did, I had to have seen at least like 8 different tables. I had them to some kind of like either different sizes, or maybe the characters were a little bit different, but it was essentially the same stuff. Yeah. So it was like you just start seeing the same things over and over and over again, and then like they are priced really low.
Yeah.
So
because I think, not that it's a bad thing, but I think a lot of people just do it because they just want something to do.
Yeah.
But it's like if you're trying to actually make a business out of it, like you gotta make sure that you're covering your costs and you're not losing money on the event, because there's a lot of events that we've come out of and we came out negative. So that's why we're trying to be more selective this year, but there's no guarantee. So
yeah. And we try to make it very clear that what we make is actually original work that's handmade. Like we'll even get questions from people and they're like, "Oh, did you take these photos yourself?"
like,
like, does that make sense to sell photos that are not your photos? But I guess it does.
Because
I don't know.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because we've seen vendors that, just slap AI artwork on a Tumblr and they call it, whatever they want, really. It's like, here's a Tumblr I made.
Yeah. I think it also just like the whole AI environment makes it a little bit more difficult for artists that do make everything like by hand. So we're trying to shift our focus to more of an audience that actually appreciates handmade things, and an environment where they exclude, like one of the shows we're doing, like they are not doing any crafts, anything that's not art or handmade. They won't even accept into the show.
Yeah. So
we're trying to find more venues like that where they won't even let those people enter. Yeah. So I'm excited to see the difference because I feel like it will be significant.
I'm sure it'll be a big difference, but there's also some drawbacks to that as well. Is like, at least in our area, some of the art heavy focused events, like you're looking at $200 just to get, a booth.
Yeah, and they're very expensive.
And it's just like, we don't really have that to invest, because if you go and make no sales during that, that's a rough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I think it's hard for us too to justify those prices because we don't know yet how well we would do at those types of events.
It's just a wild card.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if we're ready to
to go to that
far. Go to that event.
Some of the ones we're doing this year are kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
They're like a step up from, because they are art based, so they're a step up from the shows that we've done last year, but they're not quite to the next level.
Like the large festivals that draw in like hundreds of thousands. Probably not hundreds of thousands, but more like tens of thousands.
Yeah. Also, like a lot of those are like very stickler. Like those, some of them are like they're juried, and you can only offer limited editions
or originals only.
Originals only.
There's a certain mix of like closed editions you can have. Like there's a certain mix of new and old work, and there's just a lot of weird requirements.
Yeah, like you have to only sell like limited editions, and they have to all be numbered and signed, and it's a little too intense.
It's a little too intense.
Like I think we fall kind of like in the middle. Like we're not crafts, but we're not like
high end artists.
We're not looking for art collectors to like, I have a piece from Tealfish Studio, like sitting in my lounge or whatever, and I'm like, no,
in my third office.
What are you in my study? In my study, I have.
In my library.
And that's a little too pretentious for me. Like I just like. I like creating actual art that makes you think and feel something, but I want it to be accessible to like normal people, you know? So, we were watching, like a talk from an artist who does like a lot of these like shows. I think she was a photographer, if I remember correctly, or
I don't know which one you're talking about, but
I don't know. But she was basically saying like, you can either have your items be in like one or two people's homes, or you can have your things be in multiple people's houses and like have your art like hanging on a lot of people's walls and make it accessible to everybody. And the shows that she enters is like more in line with that, where like it's just accessible to a lot of people, because like she'd rather have things priced lower and just be in a lot of people's homes and like decorate their walls and like make them happy to like have like something that brings them joy. So I'm like, I definitely align more with that than like being an elite, like I'm not like a Banksy or something, you know.
Nobody's Banksy except for Banksy.
But yeah, so I'm excited that it's going to be like a more like art based things that we're going to be headed to. So we have to figure out a couple of things, because we want to start offering prints of our paintings, but we have to figure out, we've kind of held back on doing that because we want to take like good quality photos of the originals before we sell them off. So we have some equipment that we've gotten that we're going to try to figure out how to take the best quality photos of our originals so we can make prints of them. And then we will be selling our original pieces at some of these upcoming shows. So that's going to be a whole nother thing, because we got to figure out how to hang these canvases and how to transport them. I bought like a huge portfolio, and I'm like, I feel like I'm back in school.
You're going to blow away in the wind.
So we can carry some of these big canvases, but I'm honestly like looking forward to being able to sell some of these so I can make room to make new ones, because I've kind of not been making new paintings because we don't have any place to put them. So yeah. And I have like a couple like really big canvases that I'm like I have this big elephant painting that I was like working on, and I just stopped and like shoved it behind our shelves because I'm like, I can't do this, because I'm just going to want to keep making more, and I can't do it. So it will be interesting. And then we're just trying to figure out how to condense our setup, which I don't know is even possible.
I think
it just keeps expanding.
I know.
We're going to be one of those people that has to get two different tents, like side by side. We're going to have to start getting double spot.
We can't do that.
Just mark my words.
There's no way.
Just keeps happening. We are trying to be a little bit more selective about like what we're making now too.
Yeah.
So like certain things we're like, We're going to try to do like last chance sales because I'm like, okay, I don't want to make these anymore.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So we'll kind of put those on discount and then kind of discontinue like certain things. And then focus on the things that we really enjoy doing. So it's all a work in progress.
Yes, it is.
We have a couple events that are kind of up in the air, like we've kind of applied for and we're just waiting to hear back to see. And then there's some that we're keeping our eye on, but we're not really sure if we want to do or not.
Yeah.
We're like,
it's
yes, but no.
debatable, but
yeah.
We'll see how things go.
One of the ones that I'm still not sure, like we applied for it, but I'm like, do we want to do this? Do we not want to do this? I don't know.
It's got a lot of big pros and big cons.
Is our county fair. So that's going to be a huge event, and they're changing it. Like, I guess they used to do this in the past, and they're bringing it back this year where they are going to have vendors. It's usually like it's a 12-day, I think.
Yeah.
Thing, but for the vendors, they're going to do 3-day rotations.
Yes.
So we're not sure if we're going to get into it, but if we did, it would be the largest event we've ever done. And it would be a very long event because you have to be there from open to close 3 days in a row.
It's 11 to 10 or something like that, I think.
So if we get into this one, we are going to need a lot more inventory.
And
so we got to start making a crap ton of stuff. And it's like right after another one, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on which slot they put you in, but
yeah, I guess it depends on what days they put you.
But either way, this event draws in over 1 million people over those 12 days. So that gives you an idea of how busy this thing is. But one of the big cons is the location where they're putting the vendors is kind of secluded. So you're not probably going to get the full, fair traffic coming through. So
I think that's something we'd have to ask, but
well, that's definitely something I want to ask.
I think, but the thing is that they decided to bring back the artisans because people have been asking for it.
Yeah, but
so that's kind of what gave me the push to be like, well, if people have been asking for it, then at least those people would seek us out.
Yeah, but then you got to think, are they going to come every 3 days or 4 days to see the new?
Well, they're not all going to come on the same 3 days.
No, but I'm saying, the people that want to see it, they're probably just going to attend their 1 day. Yeah. They're not going to come back to see.
Well, I don't think they're all going to be there on just 1 day and they're all like, on this Tuesday, we're all going.
No, but you know what I'm saying is they're just going to get spread out over that. So,
but I feel like this would be a really good event, even if we don't make a ton of sales, just to get our names out there, because I mean, the possibility of like how many people could see your things is much greater than some of the smaller shows that we've been doing.
But it also freaks me out because I'm like, if it is super busy and we don't make enough stuff and say we sell through everything like on the first day, what do you do for the other 2?
Profit.
I mean, cry. Please wait in line while I do this right now for you.
I'll just bring my guitar and we'll do some live loops for the other 2 days.
I don't think they'll allow that. But I don't know. I mean, we may not even get into that one, but it would bring a very large, complex problems to that need to be solved. Because I feel like I don't even know where to begin for like, this is the right amount of stuff to bring. If we were either going to bring way too much or way too little, then I don't think there's going to be an in between.
Yeah.
Because that's how things work. We're like, we over prepare, but for this large event to over prepare, like that's like going to be like insane. I don't even know what that's going to look like.
It's so funny because some of the things that we think are going to do well.
Yeah.
Don't.
They don't.
And we spend like a ton of time like making like certain things, and we're like, this is going to be a hit.
Yeah.
And nobody buys any. And then the things that we're like, nobody's going to really want this.
They will.
They like sell out. And we're like,
Yeah. So a good example of that is for Halloween.
For anybody that is listening to the audio, Brandon is struggling to get
a felted
one of his felted pumpkins.
I thought this would be a great fall and Halloween item. So I made 12 of them.
In different colors.
Dark orange, light orange, yellow, and white. And nobody bought one.
He's like, oh, I can't believe I made so many pumpkins. It's just, you never know what's gonna sell or when. Like, it's so strange. Like, we made, like, I have a bunch of stuff that I made around Christmas, and I thought they would sell really well, and they sell out of season. Like, we have a shark sticker, our Mr. Nibbles.
Yeah.
And we put a little Santa hat on him. And I don't think we sold any during Christmas, but the rest of the year people seem to love him, so we always put him out. We almost are out of Mr. Nibbles.
This way.
He's too much glare. He's almost sold out, so I don't know. You just never know. And then during Christmas, I made some mini canvases that had like Halloween scenes and stuff on them, and I didn't sell any of them during Halloween, but I sold some during Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, all right, well, I guess it doesn't matter what season it is. We just put it out.
If we have a space, we'll just put it out.
I didn't even have that one out, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It was one of my shadow boxes, and it was just kind of like in like one of our storage bins, and somebody saw it and they're like, oh, I want this. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
You can have it. It is very interesting. So I think we're trying to shift to not do things that are super specific to holidays, because initially we're like, oh, we should do like holiday themed things.
I
thought it would be a good idea to do holiday.
I did not, because you get stuck with it for a whole year before you can try to resell it again.
Not necessarily.
I mean, some of them,
you've seen,
but some of them are super
specific.
Well,
I mean, like some of the stuff that is super specific is still selling like all year round.
Not the cards, though.
But the Santa hat sticker with the shark?
Well, it's a sticker, but I'm talking about like the cards. Like we have so many holiday cards.
We don't display them. Maybe if we displayed them, people would buy them. You never know.
People don't buy the ones that are not holiday.
Well, whatever. But yeah, it's just been interesting. We are finally like seeing things that like, because we're still so new at this, like we haven't really been able to like trend out like what people really like. It does depend on like which market. Like there's one market where I sold a ton of like macrame stuff, and then like nowhere else.
Yeah.
Like people loved them, and then
then somewhere else it's just crickets.
Yeah, it's so strange. So like it really just depends on what audience you're in front of, and like what they seem to like. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
So but either way, we got a lot of stuff to make this year. Yeah,
because even if we don't get into this fair
there's just a lot of
the shows that we're doing are bigger shows.
Yeah,
much bigger than the ones we did last year. So we just need to
crank stuff out.
A lot of stuff. So yeah. So we're gonna try to start doing some more art themed streams
starting tomorrow.
And I think it depends on the show, but I feel like maybe we should start actually like making stuff at the shows, because a lot of the times we're just kind of sitting in between. But I think if we actually like start making things like at the shows, it'll not only keep us busy and start like building the inventory while we're there, but it also like shows people like these are actually like handmade and here's our process, and they can actually see us doing it.
It just depends on what you actually want to do, because bringing all the materials and stuff, like I don't know.
Yeah, I think that like we can figure out like what would be like less invasive, I guess.
Yeah, because there's already so much stuff we're bringing.
But
because it's all the outdoor ones, so it's the tent, the weights, and the chairs, the cooler, all this other stuff that we don't normally have to bring.
Yeah, I tried to make like I made like a thing in Illustrator, and I'm like, here are the bins we have. Here are all of the items. Here is the display, and then I'm like, this can go into this bin. This can go into this bin. Here are all the things that we loosely have to carry that don't fit into any bin.
Yeah, and I have a checklist of all the other things that we need to bring that's not related to setup.
Yeah.
Oh. Outdoor shows.
Yeah. It is interesting. Well, yeah, because the outdoor shows are a whole nother level.
Yeah.
The indoor shows, some of them are really nice and easy because we don't even have to bring our own tables.
I know, I love it.
I love when they provide the table for you.
Oh, pro tip. If they provide a table, make sure it's set up correctly before you put your stuff on it. Learning from experience. The last event that we did that was indoors, they gave us tables and the leg wasn't fully extended, and so I put a bin on it and then immediately the table collapsed. I'm like, well, at least I didn't put anything on it. It was breakable.
Oh, that could have been.
That would have been a disaster. But yeah, it just wasn't, locked in place. I was like, oh my God. So I'm going to check that from now on.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So many things to come, but I am excited. I am so ready for winter to be over.
I think we might get more snow this week.
Talking about it. Every time we start to the weather gets warmer, and then we're like, oh, now it's raining, and then I'm like, oh, it's snowing again.
Oh, I think we're supposed to get more snow this week.
I can't take it anymore.
Yeah,
I'm so over it.
It's supposed to dip back down.
I just want it to be over.
I know.
I'm tired.
Same.
Tired of all this stupid snow, but
yeah,
we have a lot to do, so that'll be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we got a little self-plug. So if you do any shopping online at our website, tealfishstudio.store, we now have an option where you can select to use reused packaging materials if we have any on hand. That way we can work towards creating a more sustainable ecosystem for our packaging, because we're just reusing stuff that's already been created and saving it from ending up in a landfill.
Mm-hmm. I'm really glad that we did that, because all of our art is very nature centric,
mm-hmm.
and we've thought a lot about what our mission is Teal Fish Studio, and we want to bring awareness of endangered species and biodiversity and sustainability, and that's a big part of, I guess, our brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one step in the right direction for packaging, and we want to try to find other sustainable options and things like that in the future. But
yeah, the thing is we just bought so much packaging too outside of the stuff that we have in the past, and some of it is still kind of plastic heavy, but we got to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely looking into other options going forward after those are gone.
Yeah, definitely.
But we also have some new things in our store as well. So we have a bumblebee bookmark. We have a manta ray, dragonfly, this little frog, and then Rose painted some canvases. So we got some bunnies, perfect for Easter. Some otters just relaxing in the little water with some lily pads. And then, of course, we got some dinos.
I love my dinos.
They're so cute. So, yeah, those are just some new things that have been added to our store. You can check out at tealfishstudio.store.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Super exciting. Oh, yeah, the canvases come with a little mini easel as well.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot to mention that.
Yep. And then we're also adding some new options on our shop to do custom requests too. So like I do some shadow boxes. So there was already one where you could request like a custom shadow box. We have options for, well, we do like our prints in-house, but then there's going to be additional options if you want like a custom size or custom paper. And we're probably going to do some more custom options and stuff too. So if there's something you like, but you want a specific like variation of something, like say you want a certain thing on a bookmark, or you want a certain mini canvas, or you want it for a gift for a birthday or something, just let us know and we'll get it going for you. So exciting.
Yeah. All right. So on to our third topic. We're going to be getting into some more variety with our live streams. We looked back on the streams that we did so far this year, and they seem to be a little heavy on gaming, which is not a bad thing because we love gaming, but we also want to dive more into the creative things that we do. So we're going to be doing some more of the creative corner, of course. So we have a lot of products to make this year for our events, as we mentioned. So we're going to be diving into those starting tomorrow. We're also going to be doing some music producing together. And there's going to be a little fun twist involved with nature for those. And then we're going to do something new as well, where we're going to be looking at some of the photography that we take on our little trips and excursions out into nature, and just reviewing them to give you a better view of like what we do behind the scenes.
Yeah, last year we kind of completely fell off with the streaming because we were so focused on the markets. Now that we've got the markets figured out and we kind of have a like nice like lineup so far this year, now we want to focus more on the streaming. We've been pretty consistent with the streaming, but not super consistent.
Yeah.
But we want to try to get back into like doing all the different varieties of things. And then we might just also start doing like just chatting streams where maybe we're working on something, like co-working kind of streams where we're just working on something in the background and chatting and stuff like that. So things to come. Things to come. Just trying to just really get like our footing this year on all the different avenues of Teal Fish Studio.
Yeah, we're trying to make sure that we do a little bit of everything rather than just kind of focusing on one thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel pretty good about where we're at. And I think we very properly named our business Teal Fish Studio because we do so many things. And that's another part of our brand is like we're just creatives that do a little bit of everything. So
there's so many things that we haven't done that we want to do as well.
There's like there's just so many things, so many ideas, and we just want to keep doing that and exploring all these different things. And we are completely against like niching and whatever, but like we just want to find creative things that we enjoy doing and continuing to do those and sharing those and encouraging other people to be creative and to take care of nature and our little planet and all of the cute little creatures on it. We were watching I don't know what we were watching, but we like there's like this cute, what is it called? An enchilada?
It's not an enchilada. I said enchilada because that's the only thing I could think of.
I don't know. It's like this really cute, like, what is it called?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
That's why I said enchilada.
It's like an anteater, but it's like a cousin of an anteater, and it's like the cutest little thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so cute.
It kind of looks like an anteater and a porcupine.
Like mixed. And it's so cute. And
or like a bigger hedgehog.
I think I'm going to create a character based off of it because it's just the damn cutest thing I've ever seen. It's so cute.
Then we also saw a clip of a porcupine climbing down a tree.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
If you haven't seen a porcupine climb down a tree, go YouTube that.
Yeah, that's the cutest thing I've ever seen. It's the cutest thing. It's so cute. But yeah, very fun.
Yeah.
Very exciting. Many things to come. And I feel like in the face of all this like AI crap, like, I mean, okay, AI is an okay tool to use, but like, I am so sick of it, to be honest.
Well, you have to say in what way.
It's just everywhere.
No, but I'm saying like it's okay in which ways. Because people are going to take that the wrong way.
Like, it's okay as like, I don't know, a tool for like, I don't know.
But you're not talking about art and photos.
No.
Yeah, you got to be clear. That's what I'm saying.
No. Like, I don't know.
Like if you're drafting an email or something,
Sure.
like it can like help you like condense it and, you know, word it a certain way. That's okay. But
Grammarly.
we're not talking about like generate me this photo or this art piece. Like we do all that stuff.
The way I use ChatGPT is as WebMD, and I'm like, I have this symptom. What disease do I have? But I don't know. Like it's so annoying. It's just like, it's so prevalent and it's everywhere. And like, I'm so sick of it. And
it's
like,
even on the products at the markets. There's a lot of AI art out there. And
it's just so.
I don't think a lot of people realize that it's AI either.
Yeah.
But
like they're not specifically disclosing.
They're not disclosing it, but people aren't asking either. They're just buying. I've seen people buying it.
I don't know. I'm so sick of it. So like in a world like that, like I feel like as an artist, I'm just doubling down on that. We make everything ourselves. We make it handmade. Like even the music, like I was watching a thing earlier and I was like infuriated where it's like the AI music. And I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Like, AI makes full songs.
I can't take it. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't really care. Like it's here. It is what it is. Is it going to take my job? No, because I will not let it. Because I'm not going to I'm not going to stop making art. I'm not going to stop making music. I'm not going to stop sharing my experience. And the people that appreciate that will be around, and the people that prefer computer generated garbage, good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you.
So
I think it's just they don't realize. I mean, I think if people knew, they may change their minds, but they don't obviously disclose that without being prodded, you know.
I mean, just in general, though, like I think people are so uninformed about AI.
Well, yeah.
Like all the people that are using the AI to like make cartoon versions of themselves, or I've been seeing this thing recently on LinkedIn where it's like making like a 3D like product, so it looks like it's a product of like your you as a character, like as an action figure, and it's like instructional designer toolkit, and it's like the person as like a doll, and then like the stuff that an instructional designer.
Well, whatever you add to that database gets reused to create their new content.
Like all of these people that are uploading their likeness, hope you know you just gave your likeness to AI and they can use it and the content that you're generating in any way they want. So if you're fine with that, more power to you. But if you are not aware of that, be aware of it. Like you can't take that back. Once it's in the algorithm,
it's there.
It's there. So I don't know. I just feel like people are just like, ooh, shiny, and they're not doing their research about it.
That's just how it goes.
But I don't know. I digress. I'm not going to get in a whole.
You kind of did.
I can't help it.
Kind of did.
I can't help it. It just makes me so mad. I hate it so much.
I know. But it's here. It is here.
It is here.
And it's not going to go anywhere.
But
yeah. Yep. We picked the perfect time to start an art business. Yay!
That's just how we do things.
Yeah.
We do everything.
We get into the worst time possible for everything.
We have real bad timing.
We're always late to the party. But I mean, that makes it more exciting, right?
Yeah. We just have bad timing and bad luck, and we like to do everything the most difficult way possible. We do things the hard way so you don't have to.
Teal Fish Studio. Our new motto.
Yeah. But I guess that's a wrap on this one.
Yeah.
We went through a lot. We haven't done a podcast in a while, so we had a lot of updates to give.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of going forward, we're just going to sprinkle a podcast in when we feel like we have, stuff to actually share. Because some of the times we're like scrambling, trying to figure out like what we're going to do in the past. And I don't even know if those were interesting. I don't know. Maybe they were.
Maybe this isn't interesting.
Maybe this is not interesting either, but I don't know.
We're just sharing parts of our journey, and if it's helpful, great. If it's not, sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, you know what we should have talked about?
What?
Freaking Trimania.
Oh, I don't know.
We didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah. Well, we attended. We didn't.
No, but we could just talk about it. It's pretty cool.
I don't know.
We might be in it next time around.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You don't want to be in it?
I like attending it too. So, you can't have it both ways. It only goes once every 3 years or whatever. It's a tough decision. It's kind of nice just to hang out and experience all the things.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus trying to have to. Well, I guess half the things we saw, there's no one around anyway. So,
well, maybe that's what you do. You set up. You just set up and you leave.
Yeah, and then when someone wants to buy your stuff, they don't because
yeah,
you're not there.
I don't know why we didn't. We should have talked about that. I don't know why we didn't think to mention it.
I didn't think it was.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just didn't think it was worth mentioning.
That's rude.
Wow.
That's rude. So Trimania is this like thing they do. It's supposed to be every 3 years, but because of COVID, it hasn't happened in like 6.
Something like that.
This is the first time we've been able to attend in like 6 years. And it was like so cool. It's like this big like building not downtown, kind of ish.
Just like on the outskirts of downtown.
Yeah, and it's like all artist studios. So like
it's local, like 5 floors.
Yeah, so it's like all like local artists. And they basically like open up their studio spaces for this event, and like you just tour like the whole building to see like what all these artists are doing, and then they have like interactive experiences and like performances, and it's just really, really cool.
Lots of live music this year.
Yeah, there was a ton of live music this year. There wasn't that much the first time we went.
Mm-mm, no.
But it was just awesome. I love doing it.
Yeah, lots of cool artwork people are doing. Like, there's just everything you can think of in there. There's like, we visited one place that does like architecture, and you get to see like stuff they're working on, the drafting tables and everything. Yeah, was really cool.
That was awesome.
They have little videos running of like what they do and stuff like that. And
yeah, there's like gaming studios in there. There was people that like have like just like full on like installations in there. Mm-hmm. There's like performances in the hallway. There's like murals that people were like actively painting. There was screen printing, people like doing stuff. Mm-hmm. There's sculptors. There's just like any kind of like creative anything is like there. Mm-hmm. And it was just so much fun. I love it. It's like my favorite event. So when it was coming back, I'm like, I'm coming out of my COVID bubble. I have to go. And like, I got to see a bunch of my friends that I haven't seen since like before COVID. And they're like, oh my God, you're actually here. And I'm like, I'm alive. So I guess it's Trimania had to pull me out of my COVID bubble. But it was very fun. We got stuck in the rain. We couldn't find parking.
Parking was a nightmare.
It was really fun.
Very stressful.
We were completely soaked in rain.
Yeah, because after the event, we're like, oh, there's still food trucks here. So we're like, we'll order some food. And then waiting out in the rain for like 20 minutes while they get through everyone's order.
It was fun.
A little cold.
Yeah.
It was not a warm rain. It was
kind
chilly.
Of a long walk to the car.
It was like a 10-minute walk to the car after being in the rain for 20 minutes. So
I got some footage, so I'm like debating if I want to put maybe like a little video together and put it up on like YouTube or something. But the actual like event center put out their own video of like, God damn it, what you can see. Like there's like weird little dust things flying around.
Yeah, I see them. That's why I was waving at in the podcast too.
They put out like a pretty cool video of like we saw the guy that was like filming everything, so
we knew who it was.
Yeah, we're like,
it was very clear that he had something he was working on.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. There was like somebody that built buffalo in Minecraft.
Yeah,
and they had like a video of it, and I was like, that's so cool. That must have taken forever.
Yeah,
and stuff. There's just a lot of really, really cool stuff. So very fun, very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we went to Trimania, we went and we saw the same artist's like area, but he was like doing like live looping, and I was like singing with him and stuff. It was really fun. Such a fun event. But when we were sitting out, like waiting for our food for the food truck, we were talking to one of the people there, and she was like, "Oh, are you guys artists too?" And we're like, "Yeah, but we're like not like we would love to like be in something like this." And then she's like, "Oh, you can be. Like I had a studio there, and it's not just the artists that are in the building." And I was like, "Oh crap! Like I didn't know that." So there's an application. So maybe. Because I was thinking the same thing, and I'm like, it would be really cool to be in it, but also I just really like experiencing it.
Yeah, we like to attend it.
So I don't know. We'll see. Pretty cool. Very fun event.
Mm-hmm.
We should have totally talked about it.
Well, we just did.
Huh?
Well.
Huh?
Oh. There it is. We can just splice it in. They'll never know.
We could. Especially for the YouTube thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can just splice it in.
Was not in there.
You can splice it in if you want.
Sure. But yeah. That's what we've been up to.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of things coming this summer. I'm excited to get back out and doing photography. Yeah. Seeing the aminals. And just getting back outside. I'm sick of the winter. Spring is sort of here.
Spring is sort of here.
Sort of.
Just don't look at this coming week.
I'm so sick of this.
Yeah, me too. But if you are watching this on YouTube, you can always listen to the Unbounded Artistry podcast on Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, Audible, Spotify, and YouTube Music. If you are listening, you can always watch the video version on youtube.com/tealfishstudio or catch us live on twitch.tv/tealfishstudio. You can also watch it on YouTube now as well. Mm-hmm. We also have an archive of all the episodes over at tealfishstudio.com. So until next time, may your artistry always be unbounded.
Bye!
I stole your line. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I stole